Hello everyone, this is Nimish. Today we're going to review Mohanlal's movie Grandmaster. This is definitely one of my most favorite performances of Mohanlal. I've said this in a couple of reviews before, and it is so because I think that he did not have anything on paper to kind of execute the level of performance that he did. There was no emotions, there is no over the top dramatic sequences of sadness or happiness here. There is no kind of typical dramatic emotions that we see in many other movies. Neither is there a backstory of a character, a kind of old tragedy, or any such thing to enhance his performance and to give his performance an emotional connect. There is nothing in this movie of that sort. He is playing a cop and pretty much to the point. We don't really get into the details of his life and stuff like that. He's playing the cop, and he honestly, there's nothing much to give him. Even if you're a writer, and you tell him that you got to be a cop, you got to keep your focus, you got to kind of investigate. There's really nothing you can tell him about it. He has to kind of tap into his own understanding of how he wants to execute this kind of role, and that is really impressive about how amazingly he did it. Up until I watched Grandmaster, it was difficult to imagine him in such roles for me, because although he can do anything, when you see a lot of his emotional and dramatic movies, you feel like you can't imagine him in something plain like this, where a character doesn't have much dressing. But he is absolutely amazing in this movie. It's just incredible. He's like, you can't take your eyes off him when he's acting in this movie. It gives me like a feeling in this movie which I've never got in any other movie, because it feels like there's so much to learn. He's in this movie more than any other movie. You can focus on how he puts in subtle nuances in his acting. I know that in every movie, and there are many incredible movies of his, like Vanaprastha, Devasuram, Tanmatra, Kiridam. The list is never ending. But in this movie, in those movies, you probably don't notice it because of the emotional story attached, because of the emotional scenes, the situation. So you end up on the reaction of him. You end up watching his kind of overall impactful emotional acting in those kind of movies. Those are many words I just used, but yeah. So you kind of end up watching that. But in this movie, there's really nothing else to think of except just watch him and see what he's doing. And you really notice his eyes in this movie and how he incredibly does complete justice to his role. And that's what I most enjoyed about this movie and his acting. On the entertainment front, this movie delivers as a thriller and a murder mystery in the most perfect way. There are very few such movies in India that are like perfect serial killer murder mystery type movies with a nice investigation going on and things like that. And this movie really delivers on that front. It is supremely entertaining. You want to know what happens next. You want to know how this victim died. You want to know who the killer is. And the ending, as we go through various phases, ups and downs through the whole movie, the ending is also well made and dramatically made. That's the only dramatic part of the movie, but it's still very entertaining. The setup makes it look less dramatic. It makes it look more natural and organic and situational. And so the whole movie, I think, is absolutely fantastic. It's pretty much like an international thriller. There's nothing Indian about this movie in terms of all the other Indian mystery movies that we've seen. It's pretty much like a Korean or an international thriller, where everything is so naturally made, so much set in reality, that you just keep watching and you're completely engrossed. And that's what I really loved about Grandmaster. I've heard that the director of Grandmaster is the director of Villain, and so it'll be interesting to see how both these movies in the future are kind of compared and made, because they both seem to be in the same zone, so to speak. And so I'm really looking forward to both movies and what happens to them in the future, like which one's better kind of a thing. But yeah, Grandmaster itself is an absolute entertainer, and this, for me, the main takeaway from this movie is his performance. And of course the story is entertaining, but definitely his performance was the most important thing for me in this movie. Tell me what you guys think about this movie. What do you guys think should have been better? What do you guys think you liked or disliked in this movie? And let me know if there are more movies of Mohanlal where he's playing an investigative kind of a role. He's playing kind of solving murder mystery or solving some other mystery kind of a thing, because it's nice to watch him in such roles. For Grandmaster, I'm giving 3.5 stars. I hope you like this review. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and take care.